welcome to Spotlight LGBTQ+. The mission of Spotlight LGBTQ is to provide a safe space for networking, learning, and sharing of information and resources. Don't be scared. Join the discussion. Click the link in the caption to join the live or simply leave your thoughts in the comment section below. I am me. Let's go.
Hey, everybody. How y'all doing? Welcome to Spotlight. I am your girl, Latoya Baker. I am a board member of my amazing organization, I Am Me. And today I have a wonderful and amazing guest here tonight to talk to me. Go ahead. I'm going to let her introduce herself so y'all can get a little bit of who she is and what she brings to the table. Well, go ahead. I'm going to let you do that.
You gonna let me do that?
Yes,
Hi, everybody. I'm Lisa Ward. I'm an author, consultant, manager of Kel's Tango, Spade, Red of Spade. What else do I do? I'm branching out and writing for other people as well. I think motivational speaker. How can I forget that one? And I think that's and this year I dabbed in music. So as far as like producing and writing and stuff like that. So that's everything that I do.
That's great, Lisa. So I just want to tell everybody thank you for tuning in. And if you are tuning in, please make sure.
You just froze. Well, I think she's frozen, so I'm hoping that our host comes back. I forgot also keep an eye out for our podcast, EBD, Empowered by Disadvantages podcast. I'm your host, Lisa Ward, as well as Olivia Tache, my business partner, and Jamel Bay. Those are the hosts for the Empowered by Disadvantage podcast. So I forgot that because everybody's been asking about that one.
Yeah, you got a lot going on, Lisa. Ever since I met you, I've been seeing you growing and really doing your thing out
Thank
there. You first you came with Avaji. When I first met you, that's how I first met you was
you. Oh yeah.
Avaji,
Yeah.
and then you got the book, and then you got the podcast going on right now. So how did you change? Tell them a little bit about the book, and then how did you think about doing a podcast for it?
Well, shout out to Avaji. Of course, Avaji still exists. My son and my business partner Jamel would kill me if I do not say Avaji is still on the map. Avaji.com. Definitely check out the gear. Um, the book is pretty much empowered by disadvantages. When your disadvantages become your advantages, and that came from, I can't take credit for it as far as like it came to me through God. He gave me the subtitle, which is when your disadvantages become your advantages, and in the process of me trying to, when I got the idea about the book, I went to my best friend who passed, who's no longer with us, Dr. Tamika Wright. I told her about it, and she was like, "This is the book you need to write." And I said, "For sure? Are you serious?" And she was like, "This is it." And the book was definitely a journey that I thought I completed already. Like people I mentored, people that I've helped, people that me and Doc helped, and from magazine interviews that we've had with people like Mary, MC Light, Vito. And I wanted to put those different experiences in a book to kind of show the mindset of trying to change the mindset of how people think. And we wanted people's mindset to change because when you're in a place of coming from a hood or what we consider the hood, or coming from a situation, losing somebody in your life, or having a severe chronic illness, you can get in that dark place. And I wanted to show people that even though you are having a bad moment in your life, there's a lesson in everything that we go through.
Sure.
And even though we're feeling really, really bad about it, I think one of the hardest ones for me was, I guess, not being able to have children naturally. That I would say that was one of the hardest ones for me to get a grip of, because that is our womanhood to us,
Right.
being a woman, regardless if you're LGBT or not. That was something I truly, truly wanted to experience. And
Mm-hmm.
not, and that being taken away from me, I felt like I wasn't a woman anymore.
Mm-hmm.
And I had to figure out how to deal with that. But God is good, and I was blessed to have two amazing. I mean, I have many godchildren and grandchildren, but I definitely have two amazing kids. My son and my daughter is amazing, and I'm blessed to have them. So that was the ride we came up with the book, to pretty much change the mindset of how people think. As far as the podcast,
Right.
um, me and Olivia, which is my other business partner, we have similar stories
Mm-hmm.
that we've encountered and what we've experienced. Olivia is um, known for being, even Jamel, they are very motivational spirits that go out their
Right.
way to help people. And everybody
Mm-hmm.
loves them, especially Olivia. Like,
Mm-hmm.
everybody loves her. If you met her, you start to love her personality, because she's always about just helping somebody. And in the
Mm-hmm.
process, I was like, I always wanted to do a podcast, and trying to find the right one. But it was like, I told them, hey, let's do a podcast, and Olivia was like, um, you should name it after your book. And I
Every
was like,
book. Mm-hmm.
I don't know about that. But everything I do, everybody loves the title, Empowered by Disadvantages. So we came up with Empowered by Disadvantages podcast.
Yes.
And we wanted to find a way where we can empower, show people that there's an powerful moment in a disadvantaged situation, so we can help other people. And we figured the podcast would be able to do so.
I think that was like a great move for you to use the title of the book for the podcast. Like, just keep everything together. I think that was great. And I love the podcast. So everybody, if you ain't see the podcast, go see the podcast.
Yeah,
But
we're working on revamping. Thanks to my artist, he's in the studio. He might be getting signed soon. So because of that, we had to revamp. And now Jamel Bay, COO of Avaji, um, and Olivia Tache are the hosts for that with us. So
it was great. So Lisa, you are very influential African American female, well, who is in the LGBT community. So Lisa is you're part of the L symbol. The lesbian group. So which is, I feel, is with it is amazing. And I'm actually an ally, and I never really seen anything wrong with the LGBT or one person loving the same sex, or whoever you love, you just love. But I know you from coming up from back in the days. It was a different time to be a lesbian in the heterosexual world. Has any of that, like, have you had any judgments on you? Like, have anybody judged you on being LGBT? Has that harmed you, and how, in any way?
well, it's funny because you're touching on stuff that's going to be in the second book. But
Oh, oh,
um,
let's talk about it.
I would say that my life, I had to. I wasn't always. Um, Things happen in your life,
Hmm.
and that can. I got to make sure I say this correct, because then I don't want people to say, "Oh, that's why you're this." I think
Right.
whatever. I think it would have happened either way.
Hmm.
I In time, I think that as you grow, you find out who you are. I come from a very, very, religious background.
Hmm.
So at first, God is first in my life. And and when you're religious or have a spiritual background, you want to make sure that you're not doing anything wrong. So first I had to figure out certain things that I didn't understand. So I fought a lot of it for a long time. So I had boyfriends. Like I said, I wanted to have children. But I was always tomboyish. I played
Mhm.
basketball, I played volleyball, I was a bodybuilder. So um I always had a tomboy swag. And I'm definitely a woman. Like, I don't think I'm a guy or anything. I'm not trying to be a guy. I'm just tomboyish,
Mhm.
and that's what it is. But
Nothing wrong with that.
um also, when you're a very attractive woman who has been violated, you then
Mhm.
come up with a shield to protect yourself.
Mhm.
And that shield became the tomboyish,
Mm.
if that makes sense.
Right. Right.
Because then I'm hiding my hips and I'm hiding
Exactly.
certain things.
Right.
Because
You
you
don't want
go
to
through
be
the,
noticed.
you don't want to be known, especially when people come at you extremely aggressively.
Mhm.
Even people who are older than you, who you're like, oh, you're like my parents' friend. Like, why are you trying to talk to me?
Right.
So what you we go through that stage. And then once that happened, and the questions of who I was, and is it right? Is it wrong? What do you do? I went through that process of going back and forth. So like I said, I had boyfriends. But even then, people still always thought maybe I was, and I'm like, I don't know what you're talking about, because I didn't know.
Right.
Um, so back then, to be, if you was going through issues in your life and you trying to get help for yourself, yes, there was a time
Mhm.
where we had to sneak around in schools to meet to discuss those type of topics.
Right.
If
And,
you was friends with people, you still had those issues as well. So it was, hey, Nelly, okay, I got my peoples, Nelly, Queen,
hey,
Robin, okay, I'm
hey.
sorry.
That's
The
cool.
support, thanks. So when you go through the stages of trying to figure yourself out after being violated, or things like that, you're trying to find yourself. So it's a lot of stuff that you got to go through. But part of the things was, you had to sneak around to go get counseling. You had to sneak around to go get help.
Right.
Um, you had to worry about if you're going to be attacked on the street.
Right.
I remember a young lady who was attacked, and it was very sad. And I went to her. They did a play for her in honor of her. She was a kid. A grown man stabbed her 21 times,
Mm.
because
Mm.
she said, I'm not that way, and this is my girlfriend,
Mm.
and he stabbed her 21 times. I think that was the hardest one I remember.
That's horrible.
And yeah, so yeah, I've seen a lot of different things. I've seen parents kick people out their houses. I've seen people say, oh, it's just a phase.
Mhm.
Um,
Right.
it's a
You'll grow
phase.
out of it.
You'll
You
grow
know.
out of it.
So also
So a
you
lot
said
of different
being
things.
being in the being so spiritual, like being, you said, or were you in church and stuff like that as well? So
Yes,
hearing, just hearing or thinking about hearing from those church people, like, you're not gonna, God, this is a sin, God is not gonna love you, you're not going to heaven, you know what I mean? Just being real negative, and it makes you not even want to say, like, bring it up to anyone, or it's hard for you to even talk to anyone about it. Did you have anyone
correct.
to talk to about it at the time?
Once I figured out I just figured out what I was going to really do for a long period of time. But did I have someone to talk to? Yes, I did. I was
Hmm.
lucky. But it was a very hard experience. And it came with a lot of drama.
I'm sure.
So drama that I really don't want to revamp to,
Get
but
into right.
it was hard drama.
Hmm.
But where people had to leave schools, people was threatened, um, people trying to hit people with cars, things like that. So
A
it
lot
was
was
a lot
going
of,
on. Dang,
yeah.
it's crazy. But first of all, I just want to say to all you people, you church going people, y'all could do your thing, but stop trying to bring everyone down because of your beliefs of someone may not be going to heaven or they're not going to be forgiven. God loves everyone. If that's what you believe, God loves everyone and he does not judge.
I
Okay, so
think
I'm just going
now,
to say that.
I'm sorry. I think now I am a part of a church now.
Mm-hmm.
Um, I think the church is now really understanding that they're not the ones that's supposed to be judging,
No.
right? So now you having the church, which is great to see now on
Mm-hmm.
TikTok everywhere, where they're talking about opening the doors to the LGBT community, and that doesn't mean they agree.
Right.
Understand that does not
Right.
mean they agree, but it does mean they're doing what they're supposed to do, which is pretty
Right.
much just open their doors,
Not turning
tell
it back
you
to them.
right, and tell you the word, and at the end of
Right.
the day, that person and that relationship that they have with their father or whoever they pray to is
Mm-hmm.
going to be there. So
Right.
I will say that the church has changed tremendously as far as at least being more open to understanding that they're not the people that's supposed to be judging. They're supposed to be
So
teaching.
I commend them on that.
Yeah.
Okay, so I feel like I'm going through your book a little bit. So this is some of the disadvantages that you have. Was this like what brought on the book as well because of some of these issues that you had faced?
A lot of people think that the book is all about me, and it's not.
It's a lot of
It's
different stories in the book.
it's
I've
a
read
lot
the
of
book.
different
There's
stories.
plenty of stories in the book. So and it's great. Go ahead, Lisa.
Thank you. Um, say the question one more time. I'm sorry.
I said we went through some of the disadvantages. So I was saying, was that some of those disadvantages? Was that part of the reason that you wanted to write the book?
Yes, that's what made once I figured out that this is what God wanted me to do, then I had to figure out why.
Right.
And once I figured out why, the why was all the things that all my disadvantages, all the disadvantages that I mentored people through was supposed to be a vessel or a tool to help people change the way they think. So, yes.
Okay, that's great. So, what are some of the positive things that got you through all these disadvantages? I'm gonna say, what are some of the positive stuff?
My my kids, my kids
Okay.
first.
Mm-hmm.
My son and my daughter uh, is the world to me.
Right.
Um, so that is, I tell my kids, I say I had the best 9 months, the best, labor. It was free. I didn't have no labor pains, and my son laughs at me. I was like, yeah, you gave me great hours of no pain, so I'm happy. And I tell my daughter the same thing. But I could not have if you do not believe in a higher power, um, I feel for you because I could not have picked any better kids than I have. You cannot look at my kids or could not talk to my kids and I know they're not my kids. So I'm blessed with that. That's one thing that gets me through. Being an example for them as well, showing them that it doesn't matter who you are or what you do or where you come from or what type of learning disabilities you have, you still can make a difference in this world. What else got me through? Prayer, a praying family. I would not be here today if it wasn't for my belief in a higher power and having people that's pray for me, like my family does. Um, and the other thing that got me through is that,
Were you talking the whole time, Lisa? You was
hmm
frozen,
yeah, I
and
try to
I'm
keep
talking.
going for you.
Okay, I kept talking, and all right, y'all.
um, the other thing would be is, and Steve says this: once you figure out what your purpose is on Earth,
Mm,
then you got to do it. And my
mm,
purpose is to teach, to mentor, to help people. Um, and I didn't really understand that, and I didn't understand that it was going to be through writing. When I
mm.
wrote the first book, I had met multiple people tell me that I was going to be an author to many. Um, and I had a person come up to me after hearing me speak. I went to Atlanta to speak, and it wasn't a big group, maybe 100 people, maybe 80. And I guess he thought that I was sad about the people not responding the way I thought they would, which they did respond very well. Or maybe he saw something I didn't see. So he came outside to me. He said, I know you might be disappointed because it's a small group. He said, but you will be speaking in front of millions. And he said, just understand that. That is where you're supposed to be. And your book is so amazing. And he said, it's what you're doing is the right thing. So now that I know that my purpose is to write and to use the tools and the gifts that I have to help people, then that's all I care about. But I guess she's frozen again. Um, Also in the process, I think some people ask, were you afraid to step into the spotlight because you was to become an author or manager? Um, yes, I was. I think that I think today it's easier, but years ago it definitely wasn't. If you was to consider it, just because you don't want to lose your calling to ignorance. And what I mean by that is you know that you have a calling on your life to do something, and because people don't agree with your choice or people don't understand it, then they're blocked doorways for you. I had to first understand that what he has for me is for me. I had to first understand that nobody can close a door that's already supposed to be open for me and me alone. Um, it was some times where I felt afraid, and I think sometimes I'm still nervous. I'm honored to be on your show, because you're the first show that I've done. So I'm honored about that. So yes, I do have moments when I'm afraid. That was one of the questions in the chat. Uh,
I would love for us to sit down again and do a face to face chat as well.
okay.
A little chat because that would be great. I seen some questions. Did you see some more questions?
Can you tell her?
But I realized for sure, Lisa, you do have a lot of support. I've seen your people that you're around and they really support you. You say you got your kids that support you, you got your friends, your team that supports you, and it's great. And you just received, I'm not sure if you touched on this topic, but you just received an award as well, didn't you?
Oh yeah, yes. I just got best author award. So yeah, I think a week ago. This Saturday be 2 weeks. Yeah, 2 weeks ago.
You doing a thing, Lisa. You doing your thing.
I can't
Yep.
hear you.
I said you are doing your thing. Can you hear me?
Thank you. My artist, Kels Tango, also got an award for best video. If y'all haven't seen the song "Celebrate," it's it reminds you of summertime. So if you like that type of vibe, you need a good song for a picnic, or uplift your spirit. Go check out Kels Tango. Celebrate is on all straight streaming platforms.
Okay, now make sure y'all go check out the video.
I forgot to
Is
even say
dope.
that
When's
we
your
did a
next show,
video
Lisa?
for the book. There's a soundtrack for the book that we're working on some songs. The first song is called "Empowered." Uh, by Kimani Jackson. The other song, Success, that has a video by Kimani Jackson. Great young man, great vocalist. And I was just honored that he decided to do the songs for the project. So, yeah. I think well, on my side, she's frozen. Okay, you back?
Hi, Lisa. Thank you for joining us. I
Hey.
I think Latoya is having a bit of difficulties, but I am so excited to have you here. You know, we always had a great relationship, and I thank you for being the first person on Spotlight LGBTQ. Um, as you know, I love everything LGBTQ, so anyone representing us is just a gem for me.
Thank
What
you.
words of wisdom would you give to someone that's
They're home, they're hiding, they're afraid to come out to be themselves. They're afraid to even embark on a journey to become whatever it is they're supposed to be because they are LGBT. What would you say to that person?
I would definitely say that it doesn't matter if you're LGBT or you're not. If you have been given, Steve Harvey said this, and I totally agree, and I had to really listen to it for myself. When you are giving a vision, a dream, uh, something in your gut that you wake up inside of you every single day, then that's what you're supposed to be doing.
Mm-hmm.
And you can't let anybody or anything stop you from doing those things, because then you're stopping your own success, your own purpose, your own journey. But most of
Your
all,
own
you don't know how many
purpose.
people you're
Mm-hmm.
not helping, because
Mm-hmm.
you're, again, we're on this earth to do something, and you have to understand that what he implanted in you is for you, and you have to just know that he wouldn't have give it to you if it wasn't meant for you to have it. And he's gonna, all those doors that are closing on you, it's going to be a journey to get there. So Latoya's been with me for I don't know how long now, and she has seen me go from a regular trying to do this and trying to do that to seeing me in different situations.
Mm-hmm.
And if you had asked me, I think when we did the other interview, I think 4 years ago, maybe, or 3 years ago,
Mm-hmm.
I would be in a room with Tyler Perry, Al Sharpner, um, Robert De Niro, of all people who I love.
Robin De
I
Niro.
would have told you no, that's not happening. You
Mm-hmm.
know, and a shout out to RRP, my team, who's definitely helping us get where we need to go. But I, I wouldn't have saw that. So I just keep faith. I believe that he gave me these visions, and my words of wisdom is never stop, even when
Yeah.
people don't believe in you.
Yes, for sure. Because they might, even though they don't believe you, it's because they don't see your vision. They don't see
Correct.
what you see. So you got to keep moving forward and find people that believe in your vision as well. Because there are people that's out there. And
Correct.
I just want to say thanks, Lisa, for coming on and sharing your story, because there are people who may be watching this who feel that they need to hear this. You know, they don't know of
Right.
how to go about doing things. And they need to hear this and see that there are people out here like them.
Right. Got you. Got you.
And that's
And you're
that's
right.
what you always want to do. You always want to speak your piece and just let it be known, hey, you could do this, and just speak positivity to them, you know? So that's all you can do. And I think that is what we are, like, you and I feel like I am here too, just to bring the word and just to do our service and just spread the word and educate the people. So
Definitely.
yeah.
Definitely. You know,
But yeah.
when anytime, the worst thing you could tell me is I'm not going to be able to do something. If you
Oh
tell me
no.
I'm not going to be able to do it, I'm going to definitely do
Like
everything
I'm
I
doing
possibly
it.
can. Yeah.
Right. Like I'm doing the total opposite of
Totally
that.
opposite. You know.
Exactly. Yes, well, again, Lisa, thank you again for coming on. If anyone is looking to have their organization or their service spotlighted, please go to the website www.imecorp.org and fill out the form, and let's have a chat, y'all. All right. So sorry for all the confusion that was going on tonight as well. Some technical difficulties tonight, but we got through this, and I appreciate you, Lisa. And
Oh, most
happy
definitely.
birthday to you.
Thank you. Thank
Okay.
you. And thank
Yes.
you to all my supporters that came out to support us and Spotlight. I appreciate y'all. And thank you, Latoya. Anytime you need me, I'm there for
Hey.
y'all.
Yes. All right, y'all. Y'all have a good night, and don't forget to share this live. All right, y'all, and leave comments. Good night, everybody. Good night.